Listen, if you're thinking about making a move and living in Moreno Valley, don't go anywhere because that's exactly what we're going to talk about, everything you can expect that comes with living in Moreno Valley. Let's get it started. Hey, Jose here, your favorite SoCal realtor. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, do not hesitate to reach out. My team and I, we are here and ready to serve all your real estate needs. Okay, so first of all, Moreno Valley, it is no small city. Okay, so no, maybe it doesn't necessarily compare with the big cities of like LA or San Diego or something like that, but when you look at the suburb cities here in the Inland Empire, no, it is no small city. Yeah, the population here in Moreno Valley, it's just over 216,000 people, making it the third most populated city throughout the entire Inland Empire. So yeah, it's no small city, but listen, here's a question that we do get quite a bit from people that are thinking about moving here to Moreno Valley, from people that have children or are planning on having children. And that is, what are the schools like here in Moreno Valley? Well, according to niche.com, they gave the schools here in Moreno Valley, on an overall basis anyway, but they gave the schools here in Moreno Valley a grade of a B. Of course, if you're looking for the grade of an individual specific school here in Moreno Valley, whether it's this school or that school, but if you're looking for that, I do have a link for you down below for greatschools.org, where you can go ahead and click on them, use that, a great resource to be able to find that information. Of course, with that said, is there anything to do here in Moreno Valley? And the answer is, yeah, actually there's a few things to do. And here's a few of the more popular things. First, we have to start with Box Springs Mountain Regional Park. Yeah, this really is a pretty popular destination here in Moreno Valley, with hiking trails that go up, overlooking the city with some, well, as you can see here, some pretty incredible views. A couple other parks here in Moreno Valley that are worth checking out are Bethune Park, which really is a pretty nice park here, and it has good reviews from many of the local visitors. There's also Shadow Mountain Park up on the other side of Moreno Valley, but this is another really nice park here with probably some of the best local reviews of all the parks here in Moreno Valley. And we can't leave out our dogs. Yeah, also here on the north side of Moreno Valley is Hound Town, a pretty neat dog park here with different obstacles and just, you know, things for the dogs to be able to climb on. It's also separated into two sections for both smaller as well as larger dogs. And yeah, it also has the important stuff for dogs. I gotta pee. Also here in Moreno Valley, you have the Moreno Valley Civic Amphitheater. It was just recently built, actually just barely built back in 2021, but this is a really neat spot where they put on some really nice shows here. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. And while not technically in Moreno Valley,
you, so technical,
but literally right next door to the south. In fact, actually, literally as soon as you cross over the city limits into the city of Paris, you have Lake Paris. Yeah, it's really popular here for boating, for swimming. I mean, it's just, overall, it really is a pretty neat spot. Now, it's been a little bit since the last time I was actually here, but yeah, it really is a lot of fun. One more thing that you will see here in Moreno Valley, at least more so on the north side of the city anyway, but you will very likely see the wild donkeys that are here. I mean, they've almost become like local celebrities here in Moreno Valley.
Hey, can I get your autograph?
Just keep in mind, they are wild donkeys, so I wouldn't go up and try, petting them or anything like that. And also, I wouldn't go feeding them either, or at least don't get caught feeding them, because if you do, you will get fined. And of course, probably the biggest or most common question that we do get from those that are thinking about moving and living here in Moreno Valley, and that is, well, where exactly in Moreno Valley should you consider moving to? Well, based on local reviews, here are the top 4 most popular areas or neighborhoods here in Moreno Valley. At number 4, you have Rancho Bagio, which you're going to find located over on the eastern side of the city. And many of the homes here in Rancho Bagio, they do tend to be newer, and not necessarily all, but many of them, they do tend to be a little bit newer, built after the year 2000. And prices for the homes here in Rancho Bagio, they do tend to typically range kind of in that $500,000 to $600,000 range. Of course, that's not to say that you're not going to find any above or below. That's just that the majority of them, they do tend to be in that price range. At number 3, you have Hidden Springs, which is located all the way up at the most northern tip of Moreno Valley. I mean, you have a pretty good, nice mix of homes here. I mean, they range all the way from, I'm going to say like the 1970s, all the way up to newer. And when I say newer, I mean built just as recently as a few years ago. And for the prices of the homes here, they do tend to range, well, they do tend to be very similar to what we found over in Rancho Bagio, meaning they're in that, at least the majority of them anyway, they do tend to be in that $500,000 to $600,000 price range. However, the newer homes that are built here in Hidden Springs, the ones that I was talking about a bit in the last few years, those are in an HOA. So just, I want you to keep that one in mind. Obviously there's pros and cons to HOAs. I mean, some people like, some people dislike it. Obviously, that comes down to your personal preference. Number 2 is Box Springs, which is located over on the western edge of the city, right next door to Riverside. But this is another really nice area here in Moreno Valley. I mean, kind of tucked away up against the Box Springs Mountain Regional Park that we talked about earlier. A large majority of the homes that are here in Box Springs, they do tend to be built more in that kind of 1980s, 1990s time frame. But as you travel up into the northern parts of Box Springs, you will find that the homes, they are newer. As for price ranges, the homes that are here in Box Springs, they are very similar to the first 2 neighborhoods we talked about, meaning you're going to find the vast majority of them, they are in that $500,000 to $600,000 price range. And at number 1, you have Sunnymead Ranch, which is on the north side of the city. In fact, actually sits right next door to one we just talked about, Hidden Springs, but this is another really nice area here in Moreno Valley. However, keep in mind, it is an HOA here in Sunnymead Ranch. But again, it really is a pretty nice area here in Moreno Valley, with the majority of the homes anyway, they do tend to be built in the 1980s, 1990s time frame. And as for prices, you're probably going to sense a theme here, but the prices here, they do tend to range in more that $500,000 to $600,000 price point. And the thing that also I think is pretty neat here when it comes to Sunnymead Ranch, and that is the Club Lake. It really is kind of neat. Or at least, I don't know, I think so anyway. But just keep in mind though, when it comes to the price ranges that we talked about here in this video, I mean, that obviously is as of the recording of this video, because depending on when you're watching this, the price ranges, they may have potentially changed. Of course, if you do have any questions at all, or maybe you are thinking about buying or selling a home here in Moreno Valley, or just, I don't know, anywhere around the Inland Empire, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. Otherwise, until then, we'll catch you on the next one.